in Jeremiah and chapter 21, Jeremiah says like this. God is talking to Jeremiah, and God is saying, administer justice every morning and deliver the person who has been robbed from the power of the oppressors. So we all know that God has a special place in his heart for the people who are underdogs, and the widows and the orphans and the strangers. And God, in the book of James chapter 1, the ending verse says that this is pure and undefiled religion, to minister to orphans and widows in their distress. So God is the God who delivers the underdogs of society. And he is telling us as Christians to give justice to those who are troubled, and we must deliver the person who has been robbed. God expects us to feed the hungry, to clothe those who don't have clothes, to minister to those who are in prison, and to be good to the strangers and welcome them like we are welcoming Christ in our midst. And if we do that, that pleases the Lord God Almighty. We know one thing, that good works cannot give us salvation. Good works cannot give us salvation. Salvation is got only by faith in Jesus and accepting the grace of God that he's giving us. That is the only way to salvation. But once you are saved, you have to have good works, and these good works reflect the fact that now you belong to Christ, that now you are willing to serve him in spirit and in truth. So our job is not to just enjoy ourselves with whatever blessings God is giving us, but to share it with those in need. That is our job. We find that in the Acts of the Apostles, when the Jews and the Greeks and the Gentiles turned to Jesus, they would share everything they had with those who were needy. They would put all their money together and distribute it to those who are in need. In fact, even Paul encourages that in the book of Timothy. He tells us that children have a duty to look after their parents and their grandparents in their need. If they don't do that, then they are worse than unbelievers. So, as Christians, we have a responsibility towards society. As Christians, we have responsibility towards our old parents and even our grandparents. If we do that, that pleases the Lord God. If we don't do it, God says we are worse than unbelievers. So, good works are written down in God's book of remembrance. God has a book. In the book of Malachi, he tells us that there is a book of remembrance in which God writes down all the good deeds you do after getting salvation. And God will surely repay us for any small thing we do, even for his kingdom. God doesn't neglect it. He gives us a reward. So let us walk in the ways of the Lord, being pleasing to the Lord at all the time.